Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Nova Open in Crystal City, Virginia, where I will be fighting a 2,000-point battle between my Genestealer Cult and Todd's Forces of Chaos. So the story that we've got going on here is that Ahriman arrived on this planet and decided to use it to open up a rift into the warp to bring forth a bunch of minions to do his bidding from the warp. And had started his Daemonic Incursion. Only problem was that this planet that he had chosen was actually already being infested by a Genestealer Cult who rose up and decided that they needed to protect this planet and keep it together so that when their gods from the void arrived, they could stop them. So that's the story that we've got going on here. We are going to be doing the Nova mission number 1. Essentially, what you have is you have 6 objectives on the table. You are allowed to choose... for the primary objectives for this, you can choose either progressive or end game. What happens is, on progressive, at the end of your turn, if you control an objective, you score 1 point. If you control 2 objectives, you score an additional point. If you control more objectives than your opponent, you score an additional 2 points. And if you control 2 more objectives than your opponent, then you score an additional 2 points for that, for a maximum of 6 points per turn. There's also a max of 18 points from the primary objective over the course of the game. So if you score 6 points for the first 3 turns, you're done scoring points for primary. The end game is at the end of the game, each objective that you hold is worth 4 points for, again, a maximum of 18 points total. So that is and also with primary, if you control the 2 objectives closest to your opponent's deployment zone, you score an additional bonus point there, which just helps you get to the maximum of 18 for primary quicker. So that is the primary. Then you have a secondary, which is basically like ITC, except they have their own list. So for me, I chose Headhunter, which is basically just kill characters and you get a point for a maximum of 4 points. I also chose Reconnaissance, which is basically recon in ITC. So if I have models in all 4 quadrants at the end of my turn, I score a point for that for a maximum of 4 points. And I also chose Engineers, which is I elect 2 units from here that can't be characters, and they cannot be given any powers or stratagems that make them untargetable. And if at least one of those units starts the turn on an objective, ends the turn on that same objective, and did not do any attacks or powers or anything like that during that turn, you score a point. At least one of the units has to do it to score the 1 point for that turn, starting on turn 2. So that's what I chose for my secondaries. My opponent has chosen, what did you choose? Headhunter, Cull the Hordes, which is essentially Reaper. So every 20 models that he kills, he gets a point for that. And he also chose, Old School. So kill something first turn, kill something last turn, slay the Warlord, and Line Breaker. So that is the secondaries. There's a tertiary as well, which is if you kill 500 points of your opponent's army, you score 1 point. If you kill 1,000 points of your opponent's army, you score an additional point. And if you just kill 1,500 points of your opponent's army, you score a 3rd point. So that's how that works with this mission, and that's what we are going to be playing. We have Dawn of War deployment for this mission. All right, so that is going to be it for the mission. That's going to be it for the story. So before we go any further, though, let's show you the 2 armies that are going to be fighting it out. So for the Genestealer Cult, I'll be running 3 battalion detachments. First battalion detachment has a Patriarch with a Familiar and an Abominant. We have 3 10-man Brood Brothers squads. 1 squad has a grenade launcher. We have a 9-man Aberrant squad with picks and a Hypermorph with a heavy improvised weapon, and a 5-man squad with hammers. And we have a Clamavis. The next battalion detachment is led by a Magus and a Primus. We have 3 5-man Acolyte squads and a Kellermorph. And for the 3rd battalion detachment, we have a 2nd Patriarch and an Acolyte Icon Ward. And we have 3 squads of Acolytes. We have 1 10-man squad with Hand Flamers. We have 1 20-man squad with 5 heavy rock saws and an Icon. And we have a 7-man squad with 2 heavy rock cutters. We have a Sanctus, a Nexus, a 2nd Kellermorph, and a 2nd Clamavis. And last but not least, we have three-man heavy weapons teams. So for the Forces of Chaos, we'll be running 2 battalion detachments and a Supreme Command detachment. Leading off the 1st battalion detachment, we have a Sloppity Bile Piper and a Poxbringer. We have 2 30-man Plague Bearer squads and a 4-man Nurgling squad. For the 2nd battalion detachment, we have a Changecaster and a Flying Demon Prince of Khorne. Then we have 2 20-man Bloodletter squads and 1 20-man Pink Horror squad. And last but not least, we have the Thousand Sun Supreme Command detachment with 2 Flying Demon Princes with Malefic Talons, a Sorcerer in Terminator armor with a Familiar and a Force Sword, and we have Ahriman. All right, so this is the armies going over deployment. I got a whole bunch of blips. Over here. So underneath those blips, I have my 3 heavy weapon squads. I have my 2 Brood Brothers squads without the grenade launchers. I've got my 2 Aberrant squads. I've got my 3 5-man Acolyte squads. I've got my Nexus. I've got my Sanctus. I've got my Warlord Patriarch underneath all of those. So going over deployment now for the Forces of Chaos. Everything else is once again. Sorry, they're doing the trios today. Today's the day before the GT, so they're doing the trios today. So I might have to pause every once in a while they make those big announcements to everyone that's over in the other side of the room. So going over deployment now for the Forces of Chaos, we've got 1 30-man squad of Plague Bearers over here. We've got his Herald of Tzeentch over here. We've got one of his Flying Demon Princes here. Which one is your Warlord? Does it make a difference? Is it the one with the pink? This guy over here is going to be his Warlord, which is his other Flying Demon Prince, surrounded by another 30-man squad of Plague Bearers. We've got the Sloppity Bile Piper. We've got the Plague Bringer. We've got his Sorcerer. We've got Ahriman over here. And we've got Nurglings back up over here. So that is going to be his deployment. The other guys over here are going to be in Deep Strike. He spent CP to put them in Deep Strike. So, as of right now, my opponent is going to be going first, unless I can seize the initiative. So, looking for a 6. Show me that fill first. No, do not get it. So, we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Forces of Chaos here on turn 1. All right, movement phase. These guys all advanced to make a little squirrely little line of Plague Bearers over here. Everyone else advanced over this way except for the Sorcerer and this Flying Demon Prince, but everyone else advanced, leaving these Plague Bearers, squirrely lines, these guys all moving up in the middle back over here. So that's going to be it for the movement phase for these guys. We'll come back to you after I've revealed all of my blips. I jumped the gun a bit. His Nurglings are back over here. They moved 9 inches over this way. So that is going to be that. All right, so deploying. I put all of my mortar squads back over here along with the Nexus. I put the 1 squad of Acolytes up front here. This squad back here is my Engineer squad. I've got my Sanctus over here and 10-man
40K trio.
Sorry about that. There we got the 10-man Brood Brothers squad back here around them. I got my 5-man Aberrant squad with hammers over here. This is my other Engineer squad back over here. And I've got a 10-man Brood Brothers squad back over here. I spent 1 CP to bring the larger Aberrant squad and the Patriarch back into underground. So when he deployed here, I used the stratagem a perfect ambush, which will allow him to shoot as though it is the shooting phase. It costs 0 CP for him to use it. That's in his rules. So he is going to take a shot into his Plague Bringer over here. So he's going to have 1 shot here. It's going to be hitting on a 2. That is a hit. Strength 4, toughness 5. So it would be looking for a 5 to wound, but he gets +2 to this wound. So looking for a 3 to wound. With that 4 to wound, it does a mortal wound in addition, because that's 4 becomes a 6 because of Gift from Beyond. So he takes 1 mortal wound, and it's also going to be AP -1 on that. So we'll do the save first, right? 5 up invul save. Nope, not going to get that. So it's going to be D3 damage. That's going to be 1 damage. So he's going to have 2 disgustingly resilient rolls. Failed both of them, so he immediately suffers Perils of the Warp and suffers D3 mortal wounds in addition there. So D3 mortal wounds because of Perils of the Warp. Going to take 3 mortal wounds there. 3 disgustingly resilience. Makes 2 of them, so he's going to take a grand total of 3 wounds. All right, into the psychic phase. My opponent spent 1 CP to switch out one of his powers for Tzeentch's Firestorm. He also spent 1 CP for Kabbalistic Focus, which will give him +2 to his casting. So in the psychic phase, he's going to start off with whom?
I'm going to cast Gaze of Fate with him.
He's going to cast Gaze of Fate with him, getting it with an 8. And now he is going to cast, what is it again? I'm sorry. Bolt of Change onto my Sanctus over here. He's going to use his +2 to this cast here, so he needs a 5 for it to go off. It does go off with a 9, so I cannot deny that. So it's D3 mortal wounds, giving him 2 mortal wounds. I am going to try to pass those off to his Brood Brother bros over here because of unquestioning loyalty. So it's going to be looking for 2 4-ups. Nope, not with the double ones. And now he's going to cast Tzeentch's Firestorm onto him as well. This is just a regular cast. Ooh, not with double ones. Going to use this free reroll to roll one of those into a 5, but that's still not enough to go off, but it's enough for him not to explode. And now Ahriman is going to cast Doombolt onto my back squad over here. Need an 8 to go off. Does not get it with 7. And then he is going to smite into the front squad. Does go off on a 7, so D3 mortal wounds. Doing 2 mortal wounds. All right, so now his Poxbringer is going to cast Miasma of Pestilence onto his big squad over here. 10 will go off. And now his Sorcerer is going to smite into my front squad as well over here. That goes off on an 11, so D6 mortal wounds. 5, that's the squad. And now the Sorcerer is going to cast Weaver of Fates onto himself. That's going to go off on a 10. All right, and that is it for the psychic phase. He's also done with the shooting phase, and he's done with the assault phase. That is the end of turn 1 for the demons here on turn 1. He did score 1 point for old school by getting his first strike with these dude bros over here, and that is going to be it. So we will come back to you after movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here on turn 1. All right, movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here on turn 1. These Brood Brothers circled around his their Sanctus over here. These guys stood still. My Mortars all stood still, as did my Nexus. These guys moved up 6 inches towards his Nurglings there. These guys stay still back here, and these guys shuffled around, just spreading out a bit over here. So that is going to be it for the movement phase for the Genestealer Cult. We'll come back to you. There's no second phase because all my Psychers are there, so we'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so starting off shooting, this squad of Mortars is going to fire into his 30-man squad of Plague Bearers there. So they're going to have 3d6 shots. Going to have 12 shots. All right, so these are going to be hitting on 5s because there are more than there's more than 20 in the squad at the beginning of the phase. So looking for 5s to hit. All right, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 hits there. Strength 4, toughness 4. So looking for 4s to wound. Getting 2 wounds, 2 5-up invul saves. Failed them both. 5-up disgusting resilience. Failed them both. Next squad's going to do the exact same thing. They're going to have 15 shots. All right, so 15 shots hitting on 5s. That's going to be 2, 4, 5 hits. These are now going to be wounding on 4s. Getting 3 wounds there. So 3 5-ups. Making them all. And the third squad's going to do the exact same thing again. Getting 13 shots. Hitting on 5s. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. Pretty good there. Wounding on 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds there. Making none of those, but then 5-up disgustingly resilient. Making 1 of those, so 3 more dead. This squad here is going to fire into these guys. They've got Miasma of Pestilence, and there's more than 20, so they are -2 to hit. So we're looking for 6s to hit. Getting 2 hits there. Strength 3, toughness 4, 5s to wound. Getting 2 wounds there. 2 5-ups. Making them both. And then this squad's going to fire into this squad of Plague Bearers, looking for 5s to hit because they don't have the Miasma of Pestilence on them. Okay, no hits. All right, now my Sanctus is going to shoot into his Plague Bringer as well, Poxbringer as well. So his Herald of Nurgle is essentially what it is. So hitting on a 2. That is going to be a hit. Wounding on would be a 5, now wounding on a 3 because of Gift from Beyond. That is going to be a wound. So it's just going to be 5 up invul save. No, it's going to go through. D3 damage. 2 damage. Fails both of them, so he is just dead because he dies before the perils of the warp can take effect. All right, so that's it for the shooting phase. Into the assault phase, my aberrants here are going to charge into his nurglings. No Overwatch to be seen there. 7-inch will get him in. All right, so they're in over here, so we're going to start with them. That's going to have 10 attacks over here, hitting on 4s because they are unwieldy. Wow, that's pretty good. I'll take that. So these are now going to be wounding on 2s. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds over here. So 5 up invul saves, making one of them. So 1 will be dead and 1 will take 3 wounds. All right, so I piled in over onto them over there, and now he's going to swing back. So he's got his 1, 2, 3 guys left over here. These are going to be hitting on 4s. Ooh, pretty good right there. That's not bad. And these are now strength. What are these guys? 1 second. Strength 2, so looking for 6s to wound. Getting 2 wounds. So we got 2. 1 second. Yep, just those 2 wounds there. So 5 up, 5 up armor saves. Make one of those, fail one of those, and then a 5 up, feel no pain. And nope, fail that one. All right, so at the end of the turn, we do have morale phase. These guys lost 5 guys, so 5 plus 2 is, they're good to go. 7 is good to go, so no one loses anyone there. But he doesn't get anyone back, which is also a good thing for that to happen. So that is going to be the end of the turn there. I did get 1 point for Headhunter. And I think that's about it, because Engineers doesn't start until turn 2. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Forces of Chaos here on turn 2. All right, movement phase for the Forces of Chaos here on turn 2. His Bloodletters dropped in over here. His Pink Horrors dropped in over here. His other Bloodletters dropped in over here. These guys just shuffled around a bit, right? I think they just shuffled around a bit. They were locked in combat because I managed to wrap around his Nurgling over here. These guys also shuffled around a bit over here, and all of his dude bros moved up this way. I think Ahriman advanced, as did his Herald of Tzeentch over here advanced. Everyone else just moved into place over here. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the shooting phase. Psychic phase. Bump, bump. Alrighty, so now we're into the psychic phase. I should note that my opponent is doing progressive scoring, which is you score points as the turns go on, starting with turn 2, versus endgame scoring, which is what I'm doing. So for me, at the end of the game, each objective that I control is going to be worth 4 points. For him, he gets a point if he controls an objective. At the beginning of his turn, he scores a point if he controls 2 or more objectives at the start of his turn. He scores an additional 2 points if he controls more objectives than me, and he scores an additional 2 points for a maximum of 6 points per turn if he controls 2 more objectives than I do. So at the beginning of the turn, he controlled 3 objectives because he controlled this one here, this one there, and this one here. I controlled 2 objectives over here, so that left him with 4 points, 1 for controlling 1 objective, 1 for controlling 2 or more objectives, and 1 for controlling more objectives than me. So into the psychic phase now, his Herald here is going to cast Flickering Flame, right? Flickering Flame onto his dude bros over here. Needs a 5. Does not get it with a 4. All right, so now my opponent's going to spend 1 CP on Ahriman, Kabbalistic Focus, to give him +2 on his next casting here. Let me see if I get a CP for that. On a 3, I do not. So I did get back 1 CP, and my opponent got back 1 CP last turn. I can't remember which ones because we kind of did them as they went along. But just to keep, if you guys are keeping track at home, that's what's going on there. So now he's going to cast a Doombolt onto my Sanctus over here. So you guys needed a 6 to go off. Does not get it with the 2 1s. He's going to spend a CP to reroll one of them over here. With a 4, does not go off, but he does not explode. Do I get the CP? I do not. All right, so now Ahriman is going to cast Tzeentch's Firestorm onto him as well over here. Does go off on a 7, so now he's going to be rolling how many? 9d6, and for every 6, it does a mortal wound. Yeah, no mortal wounds there. And now he is going to cast Smite into my Brood Brothers over here. Goes off on a 9, so it's going to be D3 mortal wounds. 1 mortal wound. And now his Warlord's going to cast Bolt of Change into my Sanctus over here. Needing a 7 to go off. Gets it with a 7. So it's D3 mortal wounds, getting 1 mortal wound. I'm going to try to pass it off onto my dude bros with Unquestioning Loyalty. And with a 5, I do. Woo! Now he's going to smite into them as well. Getting it with a 9 there. Getting 2 mortal wounds. And now his other Demon Prince is going to cast Infernal Gaze onto my Sanctus over here. Needing a 5. Does get it with that 5. So what does this do?
3d6 on a 4-up.
3d6 on a 4-up, it does a mortal wound. Getting 1 mortal wound. Going to try to pass that off. I do not. And then he's going to cast Smite into my Brood Brothers as well. Does not go off. And his Sorcerer is going to cast Weaver of Fates onto Ahriman. Does go off on a 7? Yes. And then he's going to smite them as well. Does go off, D3 mortal wounds, 1 mortal wound. All right, so now we're going into the shooting phase. These guys are going to have their Flickering Flame. 7 guys are going to shoot into my Mortar Squad over here. 4 guys are going to shoot into my Dude Bros over here. And then the other 9 guys are going to shoot into my Brood Brothers over here. So they are Assault 3. They're going to be hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s because of the Demon Prince. And then they are Strength 4, so wounding on 3s. So here we go. This is going to be the ones into the mortars. All right, so re-rolling 1s because of the Demon Prince. I'll come back to that. All right, so these are now going to be wounding on 3s. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds over here. These are going to be AP nothing, so they are in cover over here. So these are going to be 4-up armor saves. Failed 4 of them, so 2 of them are dead. And now we're going to have the 4 guys shooting into the Acolytes over here. Again, hitting on 4s. Rerolling 1s. All right, I'll come back to that. Strength 4, T3, looking for 3s to wound. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds there. These are going to be looking for 5-up saves. That one's cocked. Making 2, failing 3. And then into my Brood Brothers over here. Rerolling those 1s. Alright. Taking out those. Alright. And then these are going to be Strength 4. So again, looking for 3s to wound. Alright, we'll come back to that. All right, so because 2 guys are out of terrain here, I've got to do 2 at a time. 5-ups. All right, so they're dead. So the other 11 now are looking for 4-ups. No, they are dead as well. Now the Sorcerer here is going to shoot into my 2 bros over here. That's going to be all hits. And then looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 3 wounds there. AP minus 2? Oh, gross. They're dead.
Let's be real. They're phased.
All right, so now into the Assault phase. His Bloodletters here are going to charge into my my Mortar Squad over here. So I'm going to fire Overwatch. So 3d6 shots. So that's going to be 6, 7, 8, 9 shots. Looking for 6s. Getting a 1 hit. That is a wound. That is not a save, but their charge distance. Are you going to pop that with a 1-turn use thing? So they're going to have 3d6 charge on this because they do have the banner that he paid the CP for. And they are, well in. All right, so now his pink cars here have an 11-inch charge into my Sanctus. So I'm going to fire Overwatch here, looking for a 6. Do not get the hit there. So their charge here, looking for an 11-inch charge. No, will not make it. And now these Bloodletters are going to charge into my Aberrants and into my Brood Brothers over here. The Brood Brothers are going to fire Overwatch. 2 of the guys are not in rapid fire range, but the Sergeant's in with his pistol. So these are going to be hitting on 6s. Getting 1. Cool. But not getting a wound there. So they're going to need a 9-inch charge. Are you going to pop your 1 per game use? So he is. So 3d6 charge. 8, 9 inches. Ooh. Oh, 10 because they get +1, so they are just in. All right, so my opponent's going to activate his Bloodletters here first in the fight phase. So he's going to go with these 3 guys into my Acolyte squad over here, into my Brood Brother squad over here. So these are going to be hitting on 2s. All right, so it's going to be 3 hits. These are going to be Strength what? Strength 5, so 3s to wounds. Getting 2 wounds, AP -3, so that's going to be 2 dead guys. And now he's got his attacks into my aberrants over here. Again, hitting on 2s, right?
Yep.
So missing a couple there. And these are now going to be strength 5, so looking for 3s to wound. They're tough 4.
Oh, okay.
All right, we'll come back to that. All right, so now they've got 13 wounds onto them there. The AP -3 goes straight through their armor, so these are going to be just straight up feel no pain. So those 6s that he did the wounds, doing double damage, would just still be reduced down to 1 because of the aberrant's abilities. So making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 5-up saves. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 of them dead, though. All right, so now this Bloodletter squad's going to attack here. So how many guys did you get in or into over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys are going to attack into my guys, onto the squad over here that they charged. So these are going to be, again, these are hitting on 2s as well? Or, yes, these are hitting on 2s?
No.
Oh, no.
That's their 20 up.
Oh, that's the 20 up buff. So these guys lost the 1 guy in Overwatch, so they don't get hitting on 2s. So they're going to be hitting on 3s, though. All right, we'll come back to that. All right, and these are going to now be wounding on 3s. Alrighty, so it's going to be... Oh, those are going to be 3 dead because they're 2 wounds apiece, AP -3. So that's going to be all 3 dead there. And now his Nurglings are going to attack into my Aberrant over here. So these are going to be hitting on 4s. Alrighty. And they're going to be wounding on 6s. Getting 1 wound. 5-up save. No, 5-up feel no pain. Yeah, woo! All right, so now my dude right here is going to attack into his Nurglings. 2 attacks on 4s. No hits. All right, so I'm going to do both squads of the mortars here into his Bloodletters. So these are going to be hitting on 4s. All right, pretty good there. These are now going to be wounding on tough 3. So looking for 4s to wound. Getting 3 wounds there. 3 5-up saves. No, fails them. And now my Nexus is going to attack back. He's got 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. That is all hits. These are going to be wounding on... these guys are tough to 3, so 4s to wound. That's going to be 2 wounds. 2 5-ups. Makes 1, fails 1. And now my Brood Brothers over here are going to attack. I've got 8 guys left. They're going to have 1 attack each, except for the Sergeant who has 2 attacks, plus his Chain Sword. So these are going to be hitting on 4s. Alrighty. These are now going to be wounding on 4s. Getting 3 wounds. Failing 2 of them. Alright, so that's going to be the end of the turn here. We do have some morale tests. These guys lost 5. 5 plus 1 means they get back D6. Getting back another 2. Cool. And these guys lost 2. So they don't lose anyone. They are good to go. So that is going to be it for the morale phase. That is the end of the turn there. Did you score any of your secondaries? No. Oh, well, yeah, we'll do the Horde later, but he did not get whatever else. So that is going to be it for turn 2 here for the Demons. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here on turn 2. All right, so movement of units that were on the board. These guys fell back out of combat with his Bloodletters, and these guys all stayed in combat over here. Everyone else basically stood still where they were. So now, starting into the deep striking here, I spent 2 CP. I got 1 back to put these guys within just outside of 3 inches of his Bloodletters. I'm now going to spend 3 CP to have them shoot as if it's the shooting phase. My opponent got back 1 CP for one of those. I think the second one that he did, he got it back as CP. So him gaining back 1, and I only cost me 4 to do all of this. So these are going to be hand flamers into them. These are going to be 10 D6 auto hits. All right, we'll come back to you with that. All right, so I got 46 hits. These are going to be strength 3, toughness 3, looking for 4s to wound. We'll come back to you with that. So we got 22 5-up saves. Well, I'll come back to you with that. And that was enough to actually wipe the squad. And for the rest of the deep striking here, my 2 Kellermorphs dropped in over this way. These guys dropped in looking over here. My Patriarch and some Brood Brothers dropped in over here. These guys, you already know about them. And these guys dropped in over here, along with the Acolyte Icon Ward, and a Clamavus. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. So my Patriarch is now going to cast Might from Beyond onto my dude bros over here. On a 4, he will not cast it. All right, so starting the shooting phase, this Kellermorph is going to fire into his pink horse here. So 6 shots hitting on 2s. That is going to be 6 hits, so I get another 6 shots. That is going to be 3 misses there. So these are now going to be hitting on, these are going to be wounding on Strength 4, Toughness 3. So wounding on 3s. That is not a lot, 2. So 2 4-ups invul saves. Fails them both. So now this guy is going to shoot into them as well, hitting on 2s. All right, that's all hits, so another 6 shots. Rerolling 1s because the other Kellermorph killed a model. So that is going to be a whole bunch here. These are now going to be wounding on 3s. That's a little bit better there. So that's going to be 3, 6, 7 wounds there. Makes 3 of them, fails 4 of them. So 4 guys from this squad can fire into them as well. That is going to be no hits, lots of 2s. So the Brood Brothers here are going to fire into them as well. 8 guys, all of them are within 24 inches. So we've got one, that guy with the grenade launcher is going to fire a frag grenade. And then we've got the las guns. So there's going to be 8 las gun shots. That is going to be 5 hits. Wounding on 4s because they're tough 3. That is going to be 1, 2, 3 wounds. Makes 2 saves. And the frag grenade, you get 3 shots. That is going to be 1 hit. That is going to be a wound, not a save. He's going to fire his pistol. That is a hit. That is not a wound. And now my Sanctus is going to fire into Ahriman over here. So he's going to have 1 shot hitting on a 2. That's a hit. Wounding on a 2 because of the +2 from, he's tough 4, strength 4, and then +2 because of the gift from beyond. That is going to be a wound and a mortal wound. So he's going to take a mortal wound, and then he's got a 3-up invul save that goes through. So D3 damage for 1. So he's going to have 2 wounds on him, and he suffers Perils of the Warp. So it's going to be an additional D3 mortal wounds. For 2 mortal wounds, I'm going to spend, he's got, what, 1 left if I leave that. I'm going to spend a CP to reroll this. Oh, into a 1, of course. Alrighty, so my dude bros here are going to start us off in the assault phase, charging into his Plague Bearers. So they've got +1 to the charge because of the Cult of the 4-Armed Emperor, and +1 because of the Clamavus. So I'm looking for a 7-inch charge. Not going to make it with 5, but they get to reroll because of the Acolyte Icon Ward. I gave him the Field General Warlord trait for the Deliverance Brood Surge. And they get it with a 7-inch. Now my Patriarch is going to charge into the Nurglings. He needs a 9-inch charge. Does not get it. And then these guys are going to charge into his dude bros over here. They have an 8-inch charge that they need to make in over here because they've got Cult of the 4-Armed Emperor. 6, 7. I'm going to spend a CP to reroll this. Into a 4. They are in. All right, so we're going to start the fight phase by activating these guys first. We're going to go with the Rock Saws first. So they're going to have 10 attacks. These are going to be hitting on 4s because they're -1 to hit because of being more than 20 in the squad. Alrighty, wounding on 2s. That is going to be 3 wounds here. AP minus doesn't make a difference. So that's going to be all saves because he spent 2 CP for Warp Surge to give him +1 to his invul save. And now the rest of the guys are going to attack into them with their Rending Claws, and we're also going to do the Cultist Knives at the same time because he's taking invul saves, doesn't make a difference. So there's going to be 46 attacks in there because of the +1 with the Sergeant there. He gets an extra attack in there. So these are going to be hitting on 4s again because of his him being more than 20 at the beginning of the phase here. All right. Rerolling 1s because of the icon. And then these are going to be 4s to wound. Come back to you with that. All right, so we got 14 wounds here. These are going to be looking for 4-up invul saves. Fails a couple, and then 5-up disgustingly resilience. Makes another 2, so a total of 4 dead. All right, so my opponent's going to spend 2 CP to interrupt with his bloodletters over here. So he's going to have 3 guys into my Nexus over here, hitting on 3s. All right, strength 5, so 3s to wound. That is going to be 3 wounds. 3 into the mortars team over here. Wounding on 3s. Getting 1 wound.
1 base.
It was a 6, so 2 damage. And then 6 guys are going to attack into my Acolyte squad over here. Hitting on 3s, pretty good there. Wounding on 3s. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so continuing with my charges over here. I've got 1 guy left at this squad, so he's going to have 4 attacks into them, hitting on 3s. That's all hits. Wounding on 3s. 1 wound. That's a dead guy. All right, so now I'm gonna activate my Nexus over here. 3 attacks. Hitting on 3s, that's 2 hits. That is gonna be 2 wounds. 2 5-up invul saves. No, failed. And now his Plague Bearers are gonna go. 4 attacks. Hitting on 4s, that's 2 hits. Strength 4, so looking for 3s to wound. Rerolling. That's gonna be 2 wounds. AP, nothing, so 5-up saves. And I make neither. Now my Aberrant's gonna attack. Getting no hits. Now the Nurglings are gonna attack back. Hit on 4s, correct? So that's 3 hits. And then 6s to wound. Getting 1 wound. Fail the armor save. And fail the invul save. And then to finish off the fight phase, I'm gonna have both mortar squads attacking into his bloodletters. That's gonna be 3 hits. That's 3 wounds. Makes 2 of them. All right, so into the morale phase now. This guy lost 6 from his squad. 6 plus 1, he's good to go. And then you've got a couple here, so let's do, what do you want to do first? We'll do these guys first. Roll in a 6 and a 2, so 2. Oh, well, yeah, 6 again. So 6 and a 2. So the 2 is good to go because they lost 4 guys. And what's their leadership? 7? Everyone's 7? So now we'll do the bloodletters here. They lost 4 as well. 4 plus 2 is 6. They're good to go. And then the pink horrors lost 4, 8. You're going to spend your last 2 CP. He's going to spend his last 2 CP to keep them around. So that's going to be it for the turn here for the Genestealer Cult. I did score an engineering point for these guys over here, and that is going to be it. So
For which unit?
this unit, yeah, this unit here. So that's going to be it. So I scored that one for engineering. I did not get another headhunter. And I did not get, what is the other one that I had? Oh, recon. So I did not get recon because I didn't have anyone over here yet. So that's going to be it for the turn here for Genestealer Cult. So we'll come back to you with the turn here for the oh geez, what are you guys? The Forces of Chaos here. Oh, I guess we'll score his progressives here. So he holds 1, 2. Are you within 3 of that one? Just out of 3?
No, I'm in.
You're in? You're within 3 inches? All right, so he's just within 3 inches of that over there. So he does hold 3 objectives, but I hold 2 objectives here. Oh, so he gets another 4 points for that, which is pretty good. So we'll come back to you after his movement phase. All right, movement phase for Chaos here on turn 3. These guys fell back out of combat with Madubros over here. These guys shifted over here. These guys all moved up over this way, as did these guys moving up over this way. These guys advanced to shuffle around and snake around a bit more. We're jumping onto objectives, making sure they got them. And this guy just stepped between them. So he's within 6 inches of everybody over there. So that's where he stayed, and they stayed in combat with my Aberrant. And these guys stayed in combat over here. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. So first things first, he's going to cast Flickering Flames onto the horrors over here. 6, is that enough? We'll find out. That is enough for it to go off. So now his sorcerer is going to cast Temporal Manipulation onto Ahriman over here, trying to heal him up.
Needs a 5.
Needs a 5 to go off. Does not get it. And now the sorcerer is going to cast, what is it called? Weaver of Fates onto his warlord over here. That will go off with an 11. So now Ahriman is going to cast Doombolt onto my Patriarch over here.
Needing an 8.
Needing an 8. Gets it on a 10. So that's going to be, what is it?
D3 mortal wounds.
D3 mortal wounds. Taking 2 mortal wounds. So 2 mortal wounds, so he's going to try to pass them off onto the Brood Brothers over there. Pass them both off. And now he's going to Zinch's Firestorm the Brood Brothers over here. Does not go off. And he's going to Death Hex my Patriarch.
Needing a 7.
Needs a 7 to go off. It goes off on a 9, which becomes a 10. I'm going to try to deny that. I do not. So he will not be able to use his invul save. So now his Warlord here is going to cast Bolt of Change onto my Patriarch. 7, is that enough, or do you need an 8? 1 second. All right, he gets +1 to cast, so he's going to, that 7 becomes an 8, so it does go off. So it's, what is it? D3 mortal wound, so 1 mortal wound. And I'm going to pass it off. And now he's going to smite into my Kellermorph over here. On a 7, it'll go off. D3 mortal wounds. 3 mortal wounds. And now his Demon Prince here is going to cast Infernal Gaze onto my Aberrant over there. Does not go off on a 4. And then he's going to smite my other Kellermorph over here. That will go off on a 10, so D3 mortal wounds. 1 mortal wound. All right, so now into the shooting phase. His Dude Bros, his Pink Horrors here are going to fire. 5 of them are going to fire into my Kellermorph over here. And then the others are going to fire into him over here. So we're going to go with the 7 guys into these guys over here. Hitting on 4s. Rerolling 1s. And these are strength.
They are strength 4 with +1 to wound.
Strength 4 with +1 to wound, so looking for 2s to wound. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. AP
0.
AP 0. So we got 6 5-ups. That one is cocked over there. So that's going to be 2 saves, so that is going to be 4 dead guys. And now the 5 guys are going to shoot into my Kellermorph over here. Hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. All right. And then strength, what is it again? Strength 4 +1 to wound. So 2, so that's going to be 2 wounds there. AP nothing, so he's going to have a 4-up save in cover. That is both saved. Woo! And now Ahriman here is going to fire his pistol into my 1 wound guy over here. That is going to be a hit. Strength 4, so 3 is a wound. That is a wound. AP -2, so he's going to have his 5-up invul save. That is not a save. And now he's going to fire his bolter into my Flamer Bros over here. It's going to be rerolling 1s. Not meant to be. So these are now going to be wounding on strength 4, right? Yeah. So 3s, so that's 2 wounds. AP -2, so that's 2 dead guys. All right, so that's going to be it for shooting phase. Into the assault phase, the Pink Horrors are going to charge into both my characters over here. So we'll go with the Kellermorph first, hitting on 6s. Not getting anything there, so they're charged distance here.
The Sanctus going to shoot?
Oh, the Sanctus too, yeah, sorry. But he's not going to get a hit. 3 inches will not get them in. So now his non-warlord is going to attack into both of them. So we'll go with the Kellermorph first. 6s. Gets 2 hits there, which means that I get 2 more shots. Getting another hit there. Strength 4, toughness 6, so looking for 5s to wound. That is going to be no wounds there. And then the Sanctus is going to shoot into him. Will not get a shot there, so his charge distance is in. And now his Warlord's going to charge in as well. He's in. All right, so now his Warlord here is going to attack into my Sanctus first. No need to reroll. Those are all hits. Strength, like 7, so looking for 2s. Okay, that is going to be a dead Sanctus. And now his Demon Prince is going to attack into my Kellermorph. So anyway, he's going to attack into the Kellermorph over here. Rerolling 1s because of himself. That's all hits. Looking for 2s to wound. That is going to be all wounds there. That is going to be how many? 7. So 7 5-up invul saves. No, he is not a bad shot at it, but no, he is dead. Now he's going to activate his Bloodletters here. 2 guys into my Nexus over here. Nope, no hits there. And then 4 guys into the 2-man mortar team. That's going to be 3 hits. That's going to be 2 wounds, AP -3. So that's going to be 1 dead base. And then 4 guys into the 1-man base here. It's going to be 2 hits. It's It's going to be 2 wounds. So he's got 3 swings into my Dubro over here, getting 2 hits. And that's a 1 wound, that's enough to kill him. So now my Aberrant is going to attack. Oh man, you have been not doing well. And now the Nurglings are going to attack back over here. Okay. And wounding on 6s. Rerolling 1s to wound. That's going to be 2 wounds. That's no saves. Invul saves. No, he feels 1 pain. No. So now my Nexus is going to punch back over here. 3 attacks. That's all hits, hitting on 3s. Wounding on 4s. Getting no wounds. And then 2 attacks from the 1 base here. That's 2 hits. Getting 1 wound. No save. All right, so that's going to be the end of the turn here. So we're going to have Morale over here. His Dubro's lost 1, but he could get some back. So, and on a 1, he does. He gets back 4 of them. Ugh. All right, so that's the end of turn 3 there for Forces of Chaos. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here on turn 3. All right, movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here on turn 3. This guy fell back out of combat, as did my Nexos. These guys all moved up over here. He got hit with, Warp? Doombolt. So he could only move 4 inches, so he just moved up over this way. These guys following along with him. They kind of moved up over here. These guys moved up over here. These guys all moved up over here. And out of Deep Strike reserves, or from underground, all of these guys came. So that's my second squad of Aberrants, the Abominant, the other Clamavis, as did my Primus over here. Then back over here, my Magus dropped in over there. He's actually where that die is here. Anyway, like I was saying, he was over there, but he's right on the edge there, so he was kind of getting knocked a bit, so we marked him over there. He dropped in back over there, and that is going to be it. So that is it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so first things first, he's going to cast Might from Beyond onto those guys over there. That is, I don't think that's going to go off. All right, so I'm going to re-roll that 1 because I do need a 7 for it to go off. I'm getting another die into a 4, so that's going to go off with a 9. My opponent's going to try to deny this. Does not on a double 1. And I actually got the CP back. He's going to cast Smite. That's going to go off on a 9, trying to deny it. Does not with a 9, so D3 mortal wounds. 1 mortal wound. And 1 guy will die. And then my Magus is also going to cast it in there. He gets it off on a 10. Can you deny 1 second? No deny there, so D3 mortal wounds. 1 mortal wound once again. And he's dead. And then I'm going to cast Smite over here with the once per game ability with the Familiar. That will go off with a 7. And it will not be denied. Is it +1? 1 second. Oh, crap. Because Ahriman can deny 3 times, so you can deny that one as well. +1 means that it is denied. Now this squad of Brew Brothers is going to start us off in the shooting phase into his Pink Horrors. These are going to be the last shots. Okay, just getting the 2 hits. Getting no wounds. And now the grenade. Going to get 5 shots from that. Getting 4 hits. Getting 1 wound. No, but he saves it. And now my Primus is going to shoot his Needle Pistol. That's going to hit. That's a wound, because it's wound on a 2. So his regular, whatever save he gets, into the Demon Prince. 3 up. No, takes a wound. Now these guys are going to fire their auto pistols into them over there. So we got 18 shots. All right, so 7 hits because it was hitting on 5s because of them being -1. Their toughness 4 though, right? So it's going to be 2 wounds over there. 2 failed saves. And 2 failed Disgusting Resilience. Now the Flamer Bros are going to fire into the Nurglings over here. So that's going to be, oh man, that's going to be 21 hits. All right, so we got 3s to wound. Oh, I fell out of my hand. So we got 12 wounds on them. Disgustingly Resilient. 1 second. All right, and these are looking for 5-ups. Making 2 of them, so that's going to be base, and a wound. And now these Brew Brothers are going to fire into the Plague Bearers over there. Again, looking for 5s to hit because of being more than 20. And that's going to be 1 wound. No, not a wound. That was a 4. They're tough 4. All right, so these guys get to now charge in the assault phase. I spent 3 CP to have them move D6 inches closer. You may notice it's not a whole lot closer. I rolled a 1. So they are 8 inches away over here. We need an 8-inch charge, but they get +1 because of the Abominant, who I gave the Field Marshal Warlord trait to, and +1 because of the Clamavis that came in with them there. So these are going to be looking for a 6-inch charge. Not going to make it on double 1s. I'm going to spend a CP to re-roll one of those because I need to really get these guys in. 4 will not make it. All right, my Patriarch here is going to charge into his Nurglings. They're in. And the Brood Brothers are going to join them. They're in. All right, so now these guys are going to charge into them over there. 7 inches probably gets him in. And now my Patriarch back there needs a 10-inch charge to get in over here now. He's not in. And these guys are going to charge in over here. And they're in. All right, to start off the fight phase, my Patriarch's going to go. My opponent's just going to pull his bases because there was no way he was not going to kill him. All right, so now my dude bros over here are going to attack. This is the squad with the hand flamers. They got 13 attacks, hitting on 3s. It was actually hitting on 4s because of them being still over 20. So these are now going to be wounding on 4s. Alrighty, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds there. 4, 5 ups. Woof, that's how you do that. All right, so now this squad's going to attack into them. These are going to be the Rock Saws first. There's 5 guys there. They did get Might from Beyond off here, so these are going to be hitting on 3s, or hitting on 4s because they are -1 to hit because of them being more than 20 when the round started here. Rerolling 1s because of the icon. But 3 attacks each for them. 3 rerolls. All right, into 2 misses there. And these are now going to be wounding on 2s. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Invul saves. 5 ups. Makes 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of them. And these are going to be 6. These are going to be 2 damage apiece. So we'll do the first.
I'm going to reroll successes.
Reroll successes on this. That's a good call. Alrighty. So reroll those 3 successes. So one of them will be okay, but that's going to be 5 dead. Yeah, it was just 5 dead. And now the rest of the guys are going to attack. We're going to do their cultist knives at the same time. So there's going to be 4 attacks each. There's 12 of them. So that's going to be 49 attacks with the leader having +1 attack. So we're going to do 24 at first. These are going to be hitting on 4s. Rerolling 1s. And then these are going to be wounding on 3s because it's +1 to their strength because of Might from Beyond. So that is going to be 5, 10, 13 wounds so far. And then 25 more attacks. Rerolling those 1s. Thankfully. Right? And once again, wounding on 3s. So that's going to be 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more wounds for a total of 21 wounds. So 21 5 ups. And then 5 ups again because of Disgustingly Resilient. Making 3 more of those. So that's going to be 5, 9 more dead. All right, so now his Plague Bearers are going to attack back. 5 are going to go into my 4-man squad. 5 are going to go into my big squad over here. So we're going to do 5 into the big squad. That's going to be hitting on 4s, right? Wounding on strength 4. So 3s to wound. Rerolling. So that's still going to be 2 wounds there. 2 5-up saves. Make neither. And then 5 into the 4-man squad. Alrighty, that's 3 hits. 3s to wound. 2 wounds. Rerolling. 3 wounds. Need my extra die. And I make 1 of them 2 dead. All right, so into the morale phase, these guys over here lost 2 guys. 1 means they get to get back 1 more guy. So they lost -1 guy in that phase. Pretty good for them. And then these guys lost a whole bunch, right? So, +4. We'll come back to that. That was enough to wipe the squad over there. All right, that's going to be it for the Genestealer Cult turn here on turn 3. I do have recon because I've got somebody in each of the quadrants, and I did get engineering again with these guys over here. And progressives going into my opponent's next turn here. He controls 1, 2, 3 objectives. I control 1, 2, 3 objectives. So that gives him 2 points for controlling 1 and then controlling 2 or more. So that is going to be it for that. So we'll come back to you after his movement phase here on turn 4. All right, movement phase for the Chaos here. All 3 of his Demon Princes moving up over this way. These guys all moving up over this way. These guys kind of shuffled around a bit, but mostly staying where they were. And these guys kind of shuffled around a bit, mostly staying where they were. And that is going to be it for the movement phase. So we'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, starting off, he's going to cast Flickering Flames onto the Horrors. That's going to go off. All right, his Sorcerer is going to smite into my Brood Brothers. Not going to get it. He gets +1 on his first cast, so that does go off. D3 mortal wounds. 3. And now he's going to cast onto his Warlord +1 to his Invul save. What did you roll? Did not make it. Now his non-Warlord Demon Prince is going to cast Infernal Gaze into my Primus. It's going to go off on a 9. 1 mortal wound. And then he's going to smite into the Aberrants. Does go off with a 7, so D3 mortal wounds. Getting 3 mortal wounds there. 3 5-up in ignoring wounds. And I ignored 2 of them. Ahriman is now going to Death Hex my Patriarch. It's going to go off with an 8 because he gets +1. I'm going to try to deny it. And I don't with a 5. Now his Warlord's going to Bolt of Change my Primus. Goes off on a 10. Doing 1 mortal wound. And then he's going to Tzeentch's Firestorm my Primus. Does a 6 go off?
+1.
I thought it was only the first one, isn't it?
No.
He gets plus? All right,
My Warlord
1 second.
gets it all.
Yeah, it's a 7 power and he gets it, so that goes off there. So this is going to be looking for 6s on these rolls. Getting 1, 2 mortal wounds onto him. And now he's going to Doom Bolt my Patriarch. That is going to go off for 1 mortal wound. I'm going to try to pass it off. I do. And now he's going to smite into them. That's going to go off, D3 for 3. His Sorcerer is going to fire in the shooting phase into these guys. Rerolling 1s. There's going to be 2 hits. 1 wound, AP -2, dead. All right, so now his Pink Horrors. 3 of them are going to fire into my Aberrants. 4 of them are going to fire into this squad over here. Over here, 3 of them are going to fire into my 2-man Flamer squad, and then 2 of them are going to fire into my big old squad over there. So what are we going to do first?
Aberrants.
Into the Aberrants first. Getting 1 hit.
I'm out of reroll.
That is a wound, though. That's not a save, but ignoring wounds. No. And now 4 guys into these guys.
Wounding on 2s.
Wounding on 2s because of the +1 there. So that's going to be 4 wounds there. 4 5-ups. Making 2 of them. Now the 3 guys into the 2-man squad over here. These are going to be wounded on 2s again. That's going to be 4. Failing enough, they're dead. And now the 2 guys into my big squad. All hits. That is going to be 3 wounds. Oh, 4 wounds because it gets the +1 to wound. And I made 3 saves. Now Ahriman is going to shoot his pistol into my Patriarch over here. It's going to be a hit. That is cocked. That is not a wound. All right, so into the assault phase, he is going to charge into the Primus and my Aberrants. So the Primus is going to fire Overwatch. He does get a hit, wounding on a 2. That is a wound. That is not a save. His charge distance is in. And now Demon Prince is going to come in. He's in. And the other Demon Prince is also going to do it. He's in. Now these guys are going to charge into both my my Nexus and into my dude bro over here. So he's going to fire Overwatch. He's going to get 5 shots. These are going to be looking for 6s. Oh man, okay, 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. That is going to be 2 wounds. Fails them both. And a pistol from the Nexus. That's not a hit. So their charge distance. Those are the 2 guys. That's the guy who's going to be dead, right? And then that guy's going to be dead. Sorry. And their charge distance is in. His Plague Bearer is going to charge into Magus. He's not going to get an Overwatch hit, so their charge distance 6 inches should be in. All right, so into the fight phase. His Demon Prince of Khorne is going to attack into my Aberrants over here. So he's going to have, how many attacks?
6 axe swings.
6 axe swings, 1 talon swing over here. So the blue is going to be the talon. These are going to be hitting on 2s. All right, that's going to be all hits. Strength 10, so that's going to be wounding on 2s. 6s do mortal wounds on the axe, right? In addition, so that's going to be 2. All right. So 1 second. All right, so here we go. So this is going to be This is going to do D3 mortal wounds in addition to its damage. So D3 mortal wounds. It's going to do 1 mortal wound. I've got a 5-up ignoring wounds. I do with a fill face. So then these are going to be, well, 1 at a time because it has to hit each guy. So the first one is going to do 1 damage, and I'm going to ignore it. The second one is going to do 1 damage, and I'm not going to ignore it. So I've got 1 guy down to 1 wound. That's going to do 3 damage, so it's going to become 2 damage, and I make both of those. And the last one's going to do 5 damage, which is going to become 4 damage, and that's going to kill the guy. And then the one has AP -2 and is only 2 damage, but becomes 1, so 1, feel no pain, and I'm good with that. All right, so I spent my last 2 CP, did not get anything back, so I'm out of CP. My opponent's back up to 1, not from this time, he had it another time, so he's got 1 CP left. So now my Aberrants are going to attack into his guys. All right, so we're going to have these 3 guys are going to attack into his Demon Prince of Khorne. This guy actually heroically intervened over here, so he's going to come back. That's my Abominant. Then I've got 1 guy who has to attack into him, and the other 3 are going to attack into this guy over here. So we're going to do these 2 guys with that are not the hypermorph into his Demon Prince of Khorne over there. So he's going to have 4 attacks. These are going to be hitting on 2s because of the Primus. Alrighty. So that's going to be 3 hits. None of those were 6s, so they don't explode. These were the power picks. So these are going to be strength 5 becomes strength 6 because they are twisted helix. Toughness 6, so looking for 4s to wound. That is going to be 1 wound. AP -2. 5-up invul save. Does not make it. D3 damage. That's going to be 3 damage. And now their rending claw attacks. So that's going to be 2 hits, 1 of which explodes because of the Abominant being there. Again, wounding on 4s. That is going to be 2 wounds at AP -1. 4 ups. Makes 1, fails 1. And then the hypermorph into him over here. He's going to have 6 attacks with his swingy thing. The stop sign there, hitting on 2s. That 6 explodes there. These are strength 8, so these are going to, or strength 10 it ends up being, so these are going to be wounding on 3s. That is going to be 1, 2, 3 at AP. Ooh, 1 second. All right, so it's AP -1. So these are going to be looking for 4-ups. No, doesn't make any of them. And these are 2 damage apiece, so he is dead. Then we got the 1 guy into his Demon Prince over here. That's going to be 2 hits, 1 of which is a 6, so that explodes. This is going to be wounding on 4s, because he's also tough 6. That's going to be 2 wounds at AP -2. He's got a 3-up invul save. He's good. And then the 2 rending claw attacks. That's going to be 2 hits. That's going to be 2 wounds. This one's extra AP, but he doesn't make a difference because his 3-up invul save is good. And then the 3 guys here into his other Demon Prince over there. These are going to be the power pick attacks on 2s. But those 2 6s explode. Wounding on 4s. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 at AP -2. The regular demon, yeah, not warlord. 4-up invul saves, makes them all, and then 6 attacks with the rending claws. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with 2 extra hits because of those 6s. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds here, looking for 4-up invul saves. Fails 3 of them. And now his dude bro here is going to attack. He's going to put 2 swings into the Primus, everything else into the Aberrants. So what are we going to do first? Aberrants first? Yep. Those are going to hit on 2s. Those are all hits. Wounding on, what are they?
Strength 7.
7, so 3s to wound. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds. Those are AP -2, so those are going to go straight through. They end up being 1 damage apiece because they are 2 damage, but -1 because of the Aberrants. 5-up, ignoring wounds. Oh, don't ignore any. And now into my Primus over here. It's gonna be 2 hits. All right, wounding on 2s. That's 2 wounds. Yeah, and at AP -2, he is dead. And now his bloodletters are gonna attack here. So he's gonna have 3 guys into my Nexus over there. That's gonna be all hits. And he is dead. And then 5 guys into these guys. Alrighty. Hitting on 3s. And these are going to be wounding on 3s as well. Yeah, they're dead. And then his Warlord Demon Prince is going to attack into my Aberrants over here. Rerolling because of himself. These are now going to be wounding on 3s. Alright, so it's going to be all wounds. Alright, so there's 6 of them. There would be 2 damage apiece, but they come in 1 damage apiece because they are Aberrants. And I ignore 1 of them. Oof. So that means that 2.5 are dead. And then his Plague Bears are going to attack into my Magos over there. That is going to be 2 hits. That is going to be 2 wounds. AP, nothing. And I make both saves. And now my Abominant is going to attack into his Warlord over here. So 3 attacks hitting on 4s because they're -1 to hit, and he killed my Primus. So it's going to be 1 hit. Wounding on a 2, I think. 1 second. Yeah, it's an effective strength 14, so wounding on a 2. And then 2 attacks with the Familiar. That's gonna be 2 hits. That is no wounds. And now my Primus is going to, my Magus is gonna attack into his Dubros over there. So 3 attacks. That is gonna be 2 hits. These are strength +2. So strength 5, looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 1 wound. Invul save. No, that's going to be D3 damage for 2 damage. Nope, dead guy. And then the Cultist Knife. That's a hit. That's a wound. That is not a save. And it's not ignored. All right, so at the end of the phase, I do have a leadership test to take over here. I lost 5 guys from the Aberrant squad. 5 + 5 is 10. They lost 3 guys. That's the squad. Oof, that was not great right there. So that's going to be that. And then he's got 2 tests to take over here. He lost 2 guys, so 2 plus, that's going to be 1, so he gets back D3. D6, so he gets back 5. Ugh, rough. And then these guys over here, let's just do these ones quick over here too. 4 + 2, they're good to go. All right, so that's the end of the Forces of Chaos turn here on turn 4. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for Genestealer Cult on turn 4. Movement phase for the Genestealer Cult. He stayed in combat over here. These guys stood still. He advanced up over this way, rolled a 1. He advanced up over here, rolled a 6. These guys just moved up over this way. He advanced up this way, rolled a something good. He rolled over that way. These guys advanced up over here. He advanced, rolled a 1. And he is going to stay in combat over there. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so starting off, he's going to cast Might from Beyond onto my Abominant. That's going to go off with a 10. Do you want to try to deny it?
Yeah.
Does not deny it. He is going to cast Smite. That will go off with a 10. So D3 mortal wounds, 2 mortal wounds. Makes them both. And same thing from the Magus. Does not go off. So starting with the shooting phase, these guys are going to shoot into his pink horrors. Alrighty then. Get those out of there. And these are going to be toughness 3, so 4s to wound. We've got 1, 2, 3 wounds. Make 1 save. And then Magus is going to fire his pistol. Not going to hit. All right, starting off the assault phase, these guys here are going to charge into his pink horrors and into the 2 characters over here. So here comes their charge distance. Oh no, these guys do have some overwatch. So these guys get some overwatch over here. Getting 1 hit. That is a wound. That is not a save, so 1 guy's going to be dead, and their charge distance of 11 inches is good. And now my Patriarch is going to declare his Demon Prince over here and these 3 units over here as charge targets. So both the Sorcerer, who I didn't quite base, and into the Ahriman over there are going to Overwatch, no hits there. So his charge distance, 4 inches should get him in. And he's going to charge into the Plague Bearers. He's in. All right, so now my big squad here is going to attack into his groups over here. So he heroically intervened over there, preventing me from getting into attacks onto Ahriman over here. So we're going to start over here with these 3 guys are going to attack into his sorcerer, and everyone else is going to attack into the pink horse. So we're going to go with the 3 into the sorcerer first. They've got 2 attacks each. These are going to be hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s because of the whatchamacallit, because of the icon, not the icon ward, the icon in there. Yep. So that's going to be all but 1 hit. These are going to be wounding on 2s. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds there. These are AP -4, so they're going to be 5 up invul saves. Fails 4 of them, so he is going to be dead. And then we got the other guys into the pink horrors. We got 2 guys here with rock saws. Rerolling 1s. Okay, not meant to be. Wounding on 2s. That is 2 wounds. That is 1 dead. And then we've got 7 guys that get to attack into the pink horrors. We got 22 attacks because we're doing the knives at the same time, since they don't care about rending or anything like that. And there's +1 because of the leader has extra attack and he's in there. So these are going to be hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Oof. Thankfully. Alrighty. All right, and these are going to be wounding on 3s. All right, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5 up invul saves. 4 up invul saves. Failing. How many is that? Failing 8 of them. All right, so he's going to pile in over here. He's just out of an inch of Ahriman, so I don't get to attack into him because the one guy that survived over here. So I'm going to attack here. My opponent's just going to pull him because I've got a lot of attacks onto that one guy. He's not going to make it. So then he is going to pile in, though. He's going to pile into Ahriman over there. I think that's... We'll see. I think this is the call to make. So now my Patriarch over here is going to attack. He's got 6 attacks, hitting on 2s. -1, so hitting on 3s. Oof, man, that was not great. That is going to be 1 wound. Does not make a save. Oh, yes, rerolls wounds. Sorry. Thank you. That's 2 wounds. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that, man. So that's going to be 2 fails, and then it's going to be, this one's 3 damage, so we may as well just do that one. That's a dead guy, and then D3 for 1. And no, it's 2 dead guys. All right, so now I'm going to activate my Abominant over here. He's going to attack into him. I've got 4 attacks because of Might from Beyond. That's going to be 1 hit, but that's a 6, so it becomes 2 hits. Wounding on 2s. Whoa, 1 wound.
3 up.
3 up, he's good. So now my opponent's going to activate his Plague Bearers over here. So we're going to go with 9 guys into my dude bro over here.
Hitting on 4s.
Hitting on 4s. All right, strength.
4.
So 5s to wound.
Rerolling.
No wounds. Rerolling everything.
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to be 3 wounds. 1 second. All right, so that green is going to be 2 damage because it was a 6. So we'll do that one first. He's got a 4 up armor save. He's good with a Filfers. Woo! And then 2 more for 4s. Oh yes, with double Filfacers. And then he's got 5 guys over there. Hitting on 4s. That's going to be 3 hits. Wounding on strength 4, so wounding on 3s, re-rolling. That's 3 wounds.
One that does double.
One that does double. Oh, crap. 1 second. All right, so I passed 2 of the 3. We have to figure out which one was the 6. I forgot about the double wound thing. So this is going to be on a 1 or a 2. The double wound went through because it was only a 1 in 3 chance that it went through. So here we go. 1 or a 2. He's going to take 2 wounds. No, so he takes the 1 wound. So now he's going to attack back with his 3 attacks. That's going to be 1 hit. That is a wound. That is a save. And now the Demon Prince into my Abominant over here. Rerolling because of himself. All right, strength 7, right? Yep. So we're looking for 3s to wound. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds there. Those are AP 2, so those are going to go straight through. And now he's got 5 up invul saves. The 2 damage becomes 1. Ignores one of them, so he takes 3 damage. And now Ahriman is going to swing into my Patriarch over here. So he's going to have 4 attacks, hitting on 2s, rerolling because of himself. That's going to be 3 hits. Strength 6. So he's looking for 1 second. All right, so because my Patriarch here has adaptive biomorph adaptation as his warlord trait, and he also took the relic from the twisted helix, so he has +1 toughness, making him toughness 6. So these are going to be wounding on 4s. Getting 1 wound, AP -1. AP -1. I cannot take invul save, but it becomes a 5 up anyway because of his armor. And he makes, oh no, it does not make it on that. So it's going to be 3 damage, but I'm going to try to pass it off on this failed save on a 4 up. And on a 4 up it does, so we'll kill one of these guys. All right, so we've got 1 morale test to take over here. 2 guys lost, and +6, so 1 guy is going to run away on the 6.
I picked the lowest.
He picks the lowest. I forgot, he picks the lowest. I was looking for the highest. He picks the lowest, so the 2 is good. He is good to go there. So that's going to be the end of the turn. I got another headhunter because of that. I also got recon again over here. And I also got another engineering with these guys over here. So that's going to be the end of turn 4 for the Genestealer Cult. At the beginning of his turn, my opponent holds 1, 2, 3 objectives again. I hold 3 objectives as well. That guy, I made sure, is within 3 inches of it. So they are holding all of those objectives. So he gets another 2 points because of that with his progressive. So we'll come back to you after his movement phase here on turn 5. All right, movement phase for the Forces of Chaos here on turn 5. He stayed in combat with my Abominant. He moved up over this way towards my Patriarch. He fell back. Ahriman fell back out of combat over here. These guys shuffled around over this way, and he fell back, or not fell back, just moved back. Did he advance?
Yeah.
He advanced back over here. He's running for his life over this way. And these guys stayed in combat with those guys, so they are locked there. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, starting off, he is going to cast Gaze of Fate. Does get it on a 5? 1 second. Does not get it on a 5. Needed a 6. All right, so my opponent used his last CP, the last CP that we can get. I can't get it back because my Nexus is dead. He swapped out. What did you swap out?
Tzeentch's Firestorm.
Tzeentch's Fire. He swapped out Tzeentch's Firestorm for Weaver of Fates to get him the +1 to his invul save, which he's going to try to cast right now. So 2d6, looking for what? Weaver of Fates.
A natural 5.
He needs a natural 5 because he needs 6 because he gives him +1. So natural 5 will go off. That's going to go off on a 9, becomes a 10. I'm going to try to deny it. If he didn't have his +1, I would have been able to, but I didn't because it's Ahriman, so he's good to go. And now he's going to try to Death Hex him. On a 6, does not go off. Now he is going to try to Doom Bolt these guys over here. On an 8, will go off. I'm going to try to deny it with my dude bro over there. And he will with a 10! So now this guy is going to cast Bolt of Change onto these guys over here.
Needing a 7.
Needs a 7 to go off. Gets it with a 10. For 1 mortal wound. And now he's going to cast Tzeentch's Firestorm into them. Does not go off on a 6.
With his +1.
Oh, with his +1, it does give it. So it does go off, so that 1 mortal wound is going to kill him. Or no, he has to roll the 6s.
Yeah.
Brad, this is the one he needs the 6s. And he gets 2, but still. And now this guy is going to cast Infernal Gaze onto my Abominant. That's going to go off with a 10.
4s are better.
4s are better, it's mortal wounds. Gets 1 mortal wound, 5 up ignoring wounds. Does not. All right, Bloodletters are going to charge into my Acolyte squad. No hits in Overwatch there. 6 inches should get him in. This Demon Prince is going to charge into my Patriarch. 8 inches will get him in. All right, so we're going to start off with the Bloodletters so we can get 4 guys into my Acolytes over here. These guys are going to hit on 3s. Okay, 1 hit. Strength, not 2, is not going to wound. So now his Demon Prince is going to attack into my Patriarch over here. So he's going to get miss 1s, but reroll because of himself. These are now Strength
7.
7. He gets Toughness 6, so still looking for 3s. All All right, so that's going to be 1, 2. The 6s, do they mean anything special? No, they don't. So that's going to be 6 wounds there. So I've got AP -2, right? So 6 5-up invul saves. Actually, the first one, I'm just going to take on the familiar there. So that's going to be 5 5-up invul saves. And I make 3 of them. These 2 I'm going to try to pass off onto acolytes. Pass off both of them. And now he's going to nominate this prince over here to attack into my abominate. That's all hits.
3s.
That is all, but that's going to be 5 wounds there. These are going to be 5 up, ignoring wounds. Oh, no, not enough. He is dead. So now my patriarch is going to attack back into his dude bro because of the elixir of the specimen. What is it? Elixir of the something specimen, superior specimen or something. Basically the twisted helix relic plus his biomorph adaptation. He's going to have 8 attacks into him over here. These are going to be hitting on 2s. All right, 1 miss. These are going to be strength +1, so strength 7. So looking for 4s to wound, 3s to wound, re-rolling. Re-rolling because of monstrous rending claws. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds. He did get the off on him, the +1 to his invul save, so he has 6. Wait, one of these is a 6, so that one we have to do separately because that's going to be a flat 3 damage. So that's going to be, the green one's going to be the 6, so all of these are going to be looking for 3-up invul saves. He fails 1 regular one. He's going to use his Gaze of Fate reroll, and that's going to be good. And now his dude bros are going to attack into my guys over here, so we're going to go with the ones into the patriarch first. Those are hitting on 4s. Pretty good. These are now looking for strength 4, so 5s to wound. 1 wound. Re-rolling. Oh, really good there on that reroll.
1 single, 4 doubles.
4 doubles and 1 single. So the 4 doubles are looking for 4-up saves. Failed 2 of those, so he's going to get 4 damage so far. And then 1 single. No, fails that, so he's down to 1 wound. And then into the Magus over there. Alrighty, 3 hits. That is going to be re-rolling. Getting 2 wounds. Both doubles. But I make 1, fail 1, so he's still alive. And now my acolytes are going to attack into his bloodletters. So we got 3 guys with rock saws that got in there, hitting on 3s. Alright. Wounding on 2s. That is going to be 4 wounds. 5 ups. Fails all of them. All right, and then the 4 guys over there, including the leader, are going to attack in. We're just going to do their knives as well, so it's going to be 13 attacks, hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s. Alrighty. Oop, and a 2 over there. These are going to be wounding on 3s. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5-up saves. Woo, making 4 of them. Well done. And then my patriarch is going to attack over there, hitting on 2s. It's all hits. Oh, -1, so there's 1, 2 in there. So that's 5 hits. Wounding on 2s. Re-rolling because of monstrous rending claws. Whoop. So that's going to be 3 wounds. Failing them, so they're going to be D3 apiece. So the first one is 2. Dead guy, 2, dead guy, and 3, 1, dead guy. And now my Magus is going to attack. That is going to be no hits because it's -1 still. So that is going to be it for the fight phase. All right, so we got some leaderships to take here. We'll go with the Plague Bearers over there first. On the 1, just going to choose that one. Gets back 2 guys come in. So grand total of 1 loss that turn. And then over here, these guys lost 6. +3 is 9, so they're going to lose 2 more guys. All right, that is it for the Chaos turn there. So we will now move on to movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here on turn 5. All right, movement phase for the Genestealer Cult. These guys advanced so that they could stretch out between these 2 objectives. He moved on to that objective. He stayed there. He stayed back in combat over there. He moved up over here. They moved up over here. He stayed in combat over here. And that is it for the movement phase. So we will now move on to the psychic phase. So we're going to start off with my patriarch here. He's going to cast Smite into his demon prince over here. On an 8, it goes off. He's going to try to deny it. Does with an 8 because it becomes a 9 because of Ahriman. He is going to cast Smite. Does not go off. And Magus is going to cast Smite. 6 does not go off because he's the third one to try it. All right, so these two guys are going to shoot into Ahriman in the shooting phase, getting 1 hit. No wound on that one. And the Magus is going to fire his pistol. He does not, does get a hit. Does not wound. All right, so the Clamavus does mortal wounds on 6s to both of these guys. So we'll start with his Herald there. Does do a mortal wound, and into the bloodletters, does not. And he's going to shoot with his pistol. That's not a hit. All right, so starting off the assault phase, these guys are going to charge into Ahriman, the bloodletters, and his little Dubro over here. So we're going to have Ahriman firing first. Does get a hit. Does get a wound. AP -2 is just going to kill a Dubro. Sounds good. And then these guys are now going to charge into these guys. Getting 10 inches. And the Clamavus is going to charge into the bloodletters. He's going to get in. My Acolyte Icon Ward is going to charge into the Demon Prince here. 4 inches will get him in. So now the Clamavus is going to start us off here by attacking into the bloodletters. 3 attacks on 3s. So that's going to be 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. That's going to be 1 wound. No save. All right, so now my Acolytes are going to attack. So we're going to go the 3 guys with Rock Saws into Ahriman over here. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. Re-rolling 1s, but those are just 2s that are missing there. These are going to be wounding on 2s. There's going to be 2 wounds. 4 up saves. Makes 1, fails 1, takes 2 damage. He is dead. And then 4 attacks into his Dubro there. That is going to be 2 hits. That's 2 wounds. Makes both saves. And now my other Acolytes are going to go into the bloodletters over there. These are going to be hitting on... oh, shit. Keep dropping dice here. These are going to be hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s, and I ain't got no 1s. All right, these are now going to be wounding on 3s. Alrighty, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds. 6 saves. Fails 5 of them, which is going to be the rest of that squad. Now my Acolyte Icon Ward is going to attack into his Demon Prince over here, hitting on 3s. That is going to be 2 hits. Wounding on 5s. Getting 1 wound. Re-up invul. No, takes a wound. So now I'm going to activate my Patriarch over here. He's going to have 6 attacks on 2s. Oh, -1, so 3s. Keep forgetting about that -1. I gotta get these guys down below 20. That's gonna be 2 wounds. That is gonna be no saves, D3 apiece. So the first one, 1, good. Second one, 3. So he's gonna be dead. All right, so now the Demon Prince is gonna attack into my Patriarch over here. So he's gonna have how many attacks?
7.
7 attacks again. He's gonna be hitting on 2s, re-rolling because of himself. So that's all hits. Looking for 3s, yes, 3s to wound because he's strength 7. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds. AP -2, so looking for a 5 up invul saves. Whoa, I threw a dice. Oh, failed 4 of them. So I'm going to try to pass those off onto my Acolytes over here. And I pass off 3 of them. So he takes 2 damage, and his 3 Dudebros die. He actually has a 6 up, feel no pain because of the banner. No, so he's going to take those 2 damage. And now my Magus is going to attack. He's going to get 2 hits. That's no wounds. All right, so now the Plague Bear is going to go 3 into the Magus. That's going to be 2 hits. No wounds. Oh, yeah, 1 wound, 2 wounds. Failing both of those, so he is dead. And then into my Patriarch over here. 1 more. Yep. Rerolling. So that's going to be 2 wounds there. 2 4-up saves, or he's dead. Oh, but he makes them both. Woo! And now my Patriarch over here is going to attack back into his Demon Prince. That's going to be all but 2 hits. These are going to be wounding on, 1 second. 3s to wound. Alrighty. Rerolling because of Monstrous Rending Claws. All right, so we've got 2 6s that have to go separate because those are 3 damage apiece. 3 up invul saves. Oh, he failed 1. That's going to be enough to kill him. And now this guy gets to attack back over here. No hits. All right, so we do have 1 leadership test take over here. He rolled a 1, so he gets back 2 more guys. All right, for the 1 guy that I killed over there. Fair enough. These guys pass because of the Patriarch. So we are at the end of the Genestealer Cult turn there. So I do have Recon yet again. I've maxed out Headhunter, and that should be... Recon I should have 3, right? I think I've got 3 now this turn. Oh, no, that was the 4th turn? Oh, 3rd turn. So I just got 3rd turn for Recon there. So I got 3 for Recon. I've got full on for Headhunter. And Engineers, he finally killed my guys. I got 3 for that as well. So at the beginning of my opponent's turn, I control 4 objectives. My opponent does still control 2, though, because they are objective secured over there. So he still gets 2 more points here on turn 6. So he's going to max out at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points for primary, which is not bad out of 18. That's pretty good. So a good showing there. So we'll come back to you after his movement phase, though. All right, movement phase, super easy. He just moved up over here. So that's going to be it for his movement phase. We'll come back to you psychic phase. All right, starting off, he's going to smite the Acolytes. Does get it on a 7. No, I'm not going to deny that. So I'm going to let that go. Cocked. 3 mortal wounds. All right, so now his guy here is going to start off by casting Bolts of Change into his Dubro there. Into my Dubro there. He is a 7, does get it on a 10. So that's going to be, 11 with his +1 there. I'm not going to try to deny that one. Takes 2 mortal wounds. All right, I'm going to take the 6 up, feel no pain on these guys. This guy over here. Don't make either of them. And now he's going to cast Tzeentch's Firestorm into him. Does go off on 12, so I cannot even try to deny that. So now he's looking for 6s. Getting 1 of them. I'm going to try to pass it off. I do not. Do I get a feel no pain? I do with a fill phase. All right, so into the assault phase, he's going to charge into my Dubros here. They're going to fire Overwatch looking for 6s. Getting 2 6s. These are now going to be looking for 6s again to wound. No wounds there. His charge distance is in. All right, so into the fight phase, he's going to attack first. All but 1, but re-rolling because of himself. These are now strength 7, so 2s to wound, 2s to kill. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dead. All right, so I lost those guys there. So now into the fight phase. Because I can't consolidate into coherency now, I cannot move. So I cannot consolidate. So we just have the 1 guy who is in range over there who's going to attack back over here. All right, so now forgot that we had to keep going on here. He has to nominate another guy who hasn't gone yet. So this guy here is going to get nominated. So he's going to attack into my Dubros. Getting 2 hits, strength 3, so 4s to wound. Getting 1 wound, AP nothing. And on a 6, they're good. And my Patriarch is now going to activate, so he's going to have 6 attacks hitting on 2s. 3s. I keep forgetting because they are over 20 still. Wounding on 2s. That is re-rolling because of Monstrous Rending Claws. That's going to be 4 wounds there. Makes 3 of them, so D3 on that one. It's going to do 1 damage. And he makes that. Well done. All right, so now his guys over here are going to attack into my Patriarch. He's got 2 more guys into that attack, which is good for him over there. Hitting on 4s. So pretty good. Wow, that's really good there. And then wounding on 5s. Re-rolling, though. And it's the re-rolls that usually got me, but it got him pretty good that time. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? It doesn't make a difference at this one because I've only got the 1 wound left. Oh, no! Wait! Oh, my Magus is dead, so I don't get the reroll that I had for his Warlord trade, so he is dead. All right, so now these guys are going to attack into his Dubro over here, so we're going to go with the Rock Saws first. Rerolling 1s. So that's going to be 4 hits. Wounding on 2s. That is 4 wounds. Failed 2 of them, so he is dead. And then this brave little dude over here is going to make a hit. Oh, but he's not going to wound. All right, so that is going to be it for the fight phase. Into the morale phase, I've got the 1 morale test take here. They lost 5 guys. Their leadership is 8 because the sergeant is still with them there. Looking. Here we go. Come on. Lost 5 guys. So 5 plus. 3 is good to go, and they are staying where they are. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. Or that's going to be it for the morale phase. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here on turn 6. All right, movement phase 4 here for the Genestealer Cult. He stayed over here. These guys advanced up this way so that they are in that, the whole unit is in that that quarter there. So that gives them, this will give me recon for my 4th point in recon. He advanced over this way to get onto the objective. These guys fell back onto that objective back there. They were able to move, so they're still within range, and they could fall back over here. And now my my Patriarch advanced over this way. Not enough. He rolled a 3. He needed like a 4 or a 5 to get within range of the objective to just hold that objective. If I had managed to pull that off, I would have been able to hold that objective, and I would have won by what did we say? It was like by 2 points or something like that. 2 points. But as it stands right now, this is contested. I only get 4, 8, 12 points. My opponent has 14, so he will win by 2 points if it stands the way it is, because he'll get line breaker over here, giving him 3 points for old school. He has 4 points for Cull the Hordes, and he has 4 points for Headhunter. I've got 4 points as it stands right now at the end of this for Recon. I've got 4 points for Headhunter, and I've got I've only got 3 points for Engineering. And we both killed up to, over 1,500 points of the army, so we got the 3 points from that. So it really comes down to the fact, can I get onto this objective and hold it? And if I can hold that objective, we're good. But I'm going to need to charge him in order to make it happen. So, oh my God, I'm not even sure what's going to happen here. So we're going to start now with, that's it for the movement phase, so we're going to go on to the psychic phase. I've only got the 1 psyker left, so he is going to cast, he's going to cast Smite onto him over here. Oh no, going off with double 6s. I can't re-roll it. So I'm going to take Perils of the Warp here. Do not roll a 3. Do not roll a 3. I rolled a 2. I can get 6 up, feel no pains from this, from that guy there. I got 1 6 up, feel no pain. 2 6 up, feel no pains. That is huge. Woo! All right, so now he takes D6 mortal wounds. For 3 mortal wounds. All right, so here it comes. I need a 7-inch charge to get in. If I make the 7-inch charge, we're good. We're not really good. I mean, not necessarily good, but it means that we have a chance. If I don't make the 7-inch charge, that's it. Game over. GG. So here we go. 7-inch charge. Come on, baby. Do it. Oh, and he makes it with a 9. My opponent heroically intervened. I thought he was a plague bearer, but he wasn't, so he heroically intervened over here into this squad. All right, here we go. My attacks are going to happen first over here. 8 attacks, because he's all souped up with his Warlord trait and his Relic. He's going to be hitting on 2s. All right, 1 miss, 2 misses there. These are now going to be wounding on 3s. Rerolling because of monstrous rending claws. All right, so we've got 2 6s. And we've got 4 non-6s. So we'll do the 2 6s first. 4 up in save. Fails 1. So he takes 3 damage. He's down to 1. He needs to make all 4 of these 4 ups to survive and have a chance to kill me. Oh, and he fails just the 1, killing him there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how this game ends, with a Genestealer Cult victory by the skin of my teeth. So end game, I hold 1, 2, 3, 4 objectives, giving me 16 points for primary. My opponent has 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points for primary. We both killed over 1,500 points of our opponent's armies, giving us an additional 3 points there. We both got, I got 4 points for Headhunter, I got 4 points for Recon, and 3 points for Engineering. My opponent got 4 points for Headhunter. He got 4 points for Cull the Horde, but only 2 points for Old School because he didn't quite get Linebreaker at the end, and my Patriarch is not dead. So that is a Genestealer Cult victory here. The score is, what was that, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 plus 8 is 27. 30 points to little less than 4 points to that. So 30 points to 26 points. So still a very close game, a really good game, and a ton of fun. Oh man, right to the end there, it was just brutal going back and forth, all just back and forth, different charges, making it or not making it, mistakes made. Like over here, I should have started with them, with that Acolyte squad that charged into his Bloodletter, so that when he went over there and he said, I'm going to spend the 2 points to interrupt, and just slaughtered them to literally just the one man left there. It really hurt. That Bloodletter squad was there right basically to the end. Up till turn 5, he was there. They were there causing me trouble over here. So, but a ton of fun, both of us back and forth, really close. And we'll see how we do starting tomorrow in the GT, because both of us are in the GT, and this was a practice for Nova going in tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure by the time this comes out, you'll have known on my Facebook page whether or not I did as well as this or not. So we'll see what happens. So, but I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil the Glacial Geek as always. My opponent's been Todd, and until next time, have fun.